nobody believed it. I mean, for a week, the rumors had been floating around. Mathieu is coming to Pandas Ponies. Everyone had heard something, but no one was talking about it. I first heard about it a week before it was supposed to happen. Less than 24 hours later, I heard that it had been called off. Too many people had found out. So I figured that was that. Then I started noticing where Vanderpool was. He was in New York at the Ryder Cup. Then he was at Long Beach at Zwift. And then on Tuesday morning, he was at Oakley, which is like 15 minutes from my house. And that's when, I don't know, things kind of got interesting. But even then, there was nothing official, right? There was no plan B. There was no backup plan that I'd heard of. So I chalked it up to just another rumor fading away. And then totally randomly, I sent someone an email just to thank them for something. And they replied under embargo saying, you might want to be at Pandas Ponies tomorrow. A top athlete will be there. So I went. Still not convinced, but hopeful and a little bit optimistic. And to be clear, this isn't my normal group ride. I don't just roll out of my garage to this ride. Pandas Ponies is about 45 miles north of where I live, which may not sound that far, but in Southern California, that's about 10 million people away. So I left the house a little after 5 a.m. It's still dark out. I'm heading north on the 405 and I'm just kind of wondering to myself if maybe I'm just driving for nothing. I mean, it felt like I was just chasing a rumor. But by the time that I rolled into the parking lot, there were already people there. And then I saw it, a big Canyon branded van. That's when I thought, you know what, this might actually be happening. Everyone who was there was playing it cool, but they were secretly kind of buzzing inside. I overheard someone ask the guy at the Canyon van, is it true that Vanderpool is coming this morning? His response was, I don't know what you're talking about. And yes, Los Angeles is full of celebrities. Everyone has a story about seeing actors at coffee shops or NBA players in drive-thrus, but World Tour cyclists, not really. Ever since the Tour of California ended, pros have basically ghosted Los Angeles. And yes, Red Bull athletes swing through sometimes, and there are those Tom Pidcock climbs bombing the canyon descents, but none of these guys just roll up to a weekly Wednesday ride with regular locals like myself. That just never happens. So when the former world champion rolls up to Pandas Ponies in Los Angeles, that's not just rare, that's history. Everyone lined up for the start, and right before we were set to begin, a few Canyon athletes rolled to the front, and yep, there he was. Classic Alpecin Deceuninck kit, white Canyon Air Road, Mathieu Vanderpool on a local group ride. Everybody's phones were out, everybody was smiling, the energy was super high. It was like Kobe showing up to a pickup game at Rucker Park. When the first climb hit, he went. Not an attack, just a different level of speed. A few minutes later, he drifted back, laughing, chatting, taking photos. So did he drop everyone? Yes and no. He just knew when to push and when to soak it in with everyone. And I'm not the guy to ask for a selfie with Vanderpool, but at one point I ended up riding next to him, talking about his visit to Oakley, about Los Angeles, about how it was his first time to California. And for a few minutes, it was just two guys on a group ride looking over the canyon to the Hollywood sign, just chatting, having a good time. Now for me, it was just enough to watch him ride, to see how he rides in person, how fluid and composed he is on the bike. That alone was the magic. That's really what I wanted to see. What was it like to chat with Vanderpool? Well, you know, he's exactly like he is in interviews. You ask him a question, he answers, he's cordial, he's professional. He's been doing this his entire life. And look, he didn't have to chat with everybody. He didn't have to answer everyone's questions. He didn't have to take selfies, but he did. And dude, he was just a class act all around. And the energy that morning was unreal. I mean, nobody was chasing Strava segments or flexing watts against Vanderpool. It was just pure excitement. It was like this shared moment where a World Tour pro and local everyday athletes kind of blended together for a bit. It was awesome. You have to understand, the LA cycling scene just doesn't really get moments like this. We don't have the races, the training camps, or the pro teams posted up here all winter. But that morning, it kind of felt like we did. And it reminded me of what I love about this sport. It's that it brings together so many people unlike anything else. And for a few hours on a random Wednesday, the former world champion, well, he was just one of us. So October 1st, 2025 will be the day that the rumor turned out to be real. And I hope that other Pro Tour riders and teams took notice, because the way that LA and the entire Southern California cycling community showed up proved something important. This scene is alive and well, and we're ready for anybody. You know what? If you decide to come out and ride, I think that you'll be welcomed with that same enthusiasm. Anyways, if you have any questions, drop them below. As always, thanks a ton for watching. Until next time.